Hi folks, how's it going? It's getting pretty late in the day, but I didn't want to leave without making this video. It's going to have to be a pretty short video because it's been a hectic week and time's getting on. And anyway, it's only 3 stages, so it shouldn't be too bad anyway. What I want to talk to you about is I get a lot of questions whilst I'm in the cabin about this gap jump here and how to do it and which other features on park to practice on before coming here. Now it can be done in 3 steps. It's very difficult for me to explain those steps to you whilst stood behind the counter in the cabin with a coffee in my hand, so it's way easier just to talk to you about it via a video, hence what we're doing here. The first step is over on Elementary. So this is step 1. It's up here near the top of a track called Elementary. You might have seen me talk about this before. It's a small, completely rollable whoop set which you can double over. Now this one is set at, it's about 8 feet. Now don't worry about the idea that, well, 8 feet, that's 4 feet off of 12 feet. It's not so much about that. It's more about the idea of if you can get comfortable with and learn to pop off of a small transition, and that's a key point. Step 2 is over here on Route Down Raceway on a feature called In and Out, with that single log being the in, into the dip, and then this set of whoops being the out. Now, this set of whoops is set apart at approximately, well, certainly the landing zone is somewhere around 12 to 15 feet. Importantly, that's going to be giving you enough, if you're confidently clearing this, it's going to be giving you enough to do the gap on G.A.P. But more importantly, if you don't get it right in the first couple of times, it's just a single log whoops. The consequences for messing it up are pretty low, as opposed to obviously having a gap wall. Now, one of the key things to practice, I've marked a line on the right hand edge of this transition here. If you can practice transitioning over to, I've got another line over on here, transitioning over to the right on this side, that'll give you the feeling of pulling up the front of the face and making a bit of a hip shape, which is essentially going from this side over to the left, is essentially what you'll need to do on G.A.P. Now if you can spend a bit of time practicing this and get it comfortably, you're totally ready for G.A.P. It's the same feeling, the same distance, the transition's quite similar, it's pretty much the same jump. By no means stylish, but certainly effective. You can see the mark here where I put down way over, and if you're getting that far over, there's really no need to worry about this G.A.P. jump. For the time constraints I've got, that'll do. Once you've got confident on step 2 over on Route Down, you're pretty much laughing for this. You'll be completing the same distance over there, and it's a similar sort of feeling. Let me get you up and show you the transition. So over on Route Down, where you kind of did those whoops and you started off slightly to the right hand side and moved your body over to the left, then this is pretty much the same feeling. As I say, you're still looking, it's 12 feet minimum, but if you've got that one down over there, you're probably shooting at around the 15-foot mark, which is nice and into the middle of the landing. And this transition is a very similar feeling in the way that it pops you to the one over on Route Down as well. So as I say, that one over there on In and Out is key to doing this. There's not much changes in feeling. All you've got is the mental aspect of this is now actually a gap jump with a kind of hole in between, but it shouldn't be any different because, as I say, you should be confident on that one over there. Once you practice the 2 steps before it, it really is as simple as that. I apologise, this has been a bit of a short video, but it really is as simple as just following those 3 steps. If you can do the one over at Elementary, the one at Route Down, then you've definitely got the one in G.A.P. in the bag. I'm nursing a bit of an injury at the moment, and I do need to allow some time to get down and go and do a bit of smoothing on the road. So again, apologise for it being a short one, and I'll get back to making normal length videos very shortly. thanks for having a look at this. I'll catch up with you shortly. You still here? I'm going to do this section then as a bit of a disclaimer at the end of the video for any of the internet questions. Number one, yeah, I am aware that I'm just wearing jeans and no pads. I don't condone that. I advise that it's a good idea to wear pads. The only reason doing so is that I built the jumps, I've ridden them hundreds of times, I'm very, very comfortable on them. It's my place. I accept all risks undertaken by myself, and what am I going to do, like take myself to court? I have got appropriate footwear on, and you'll notice that I did have a helmet on. Now that was a half shell helmet. I usually ride in a full face. It was just what I had in the car at the time. This is me at work though. Hopefully you'll be bringing everything with you. There has been some sort of rumour or misunderstanding going around that you have to have a full face to ride here. That's not true at all. It's just that I openly state that my preference is a full face. As I say, I just didn't have it with us today. I wasn't wearing any gloves at the time. I think gloves are a good idea, but again, down to personal preference. It's just whatever you choose. I mentioned earlier I'm carrying a bit of an injury. Now I don't think it's a good idea to ride with an injury at all. That's why I've kind of done 3 hits and knocked it on the head and getting back to work now, because I've been suffering with a bit of a swollen hand recently, and riding with an injury is never a good idea. I was confident enough that I could do 3 hits, but I never ever condone riding with an injury. So it's funny that we live in a day and age now where you've got to put these disclaimers at the end of videos, but take it or leave it. Anyways, I'll catch up with you at the weekend.